Hello, hi, I'm Angela, and today I'm here live to share with you something that's really had an incredible effect on my life. Hey, Max. And so today we're going to be talking about the Shaolin online program called Mastering Yourself, a way to self-mastery. And it's an online program that I'm taking myself after having discovered the Shaolin Temple on YouTube over 2 years ago now. And then I booked myself straight away into a retreat there and went on the Happy Buddhist retreat, which was an incredible experience. And I met some incredible people there. I learned so much, and I really got to know a little bit more about the Shaolin teachings. And so I'm just looking quickly where Thanh is, because he should be joining us. We'll get there. Patience is also one of the things I definitely learned, or learning, always learning. And here we go. It should be with us now. Here we go. Hello, Thanh. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I can hear you.
Awesome to see you here. I'm so happy.
Perfect. How are you?
I'm good. I was a bit nervous about making this all work. You know how it is.
Yes, for me too, because I'm the first time live and I'm in Dubai. That's why we need a VPN. And I didn't know if it worked, but now it worked right away. So perfect. So everything worked fine.
Yeah, we are perfectly on time, 10:30 on the dot. And no, it's a real honor to have you here. And I was just starting to explain to people why I wanted to do this live with you, because I think it's just the more people know about the Shaolin online program, the better, because it's an incredible program. It's an incredible story. And as I've been now practicing for the last 2 years, specifically, you know, these practices after being at the temple several times and continuing to go there, yeah, it's good for me. It's good for anybody who comes into my contact. It's good for my patients. And yeah, so I thought I absolutely would love to talk with you and hear from you kind of how is your story maybe first, and then we can explain to people a little bit more about the program and what's in there and what it means and who it's for example. What do you think?
Yes, perfect. Sounds good. Yes. So the topic today will be how to master yourself. So the topic is for everyone, no matter if you're in this program already, no matter if you're interested for this program or you say, no, I'm not interested at all, but I want to master myself. Then I'm going to explain you a way how you can do it. So Shaolin Online is just one way. That's why it's also called a way to self-mastery and not the way, the only way. So there are much more ways, of course, and I'm going to show you an overview how you can do it. No matter if you go the way alone or with us, doesn't matter. Okay?
See, that's one of the things I love about Shaolin. It's free. It's very free. It's not like you have to do it this way. It's if it calls you, it's meant for you, kind of thing, right?
Yes, right. So Shaolin has different philosophies. So Shaolin is very open, and that's why I liked it a lot. I will tell more about it later because we have 6 different teachings, main teachings, for example. And the Shaolin monks 1,500 years ago, they asked themselves in China, okay, what teachings are there? What can I take for my life in different life areas so that I can live a pleasant life? So Shaolin was always very, very open. And that's why we have created Shaolin Online, because we thought with Shaolin Online we can reach much more people and change much, much more lives, of course, and help you become a better version of yourself. And if you become a better version of yourself, of course, you can spread this positive energy to your whole surroundings, to your loved ones, and they all get happy. So that's why I also choose you, for example, for the testimonial. So because I loved your energy and the way you said it, that our teachings have affected you in a positive way, and you can see the results in your clients. So, and that's what's all about. So the teaching, the positive energy should spread to another person, so that this person can give this energy to another person again, so that we can become a light to this world. That's what it's all about.
Yes, so it's so true, and it's exactly what's happening in my own experience.
Great, great. So, okay, let's start with my story, I would say, and then you will say what we'll see what my story at the end of the day has to do with you and with Shaolin Online, because I'm a good example. As you can see, maybe of you are asking themselves, seeing me for the first time, okay, Shaolin Temple Europe, why does he have hairs? Why is he wearing normal clothes and is not a monk, for example? So, and the good thing at the end of the day is you can do it too. That's the good thing. You don't need to be a monk. That's one thing. So my story, let's begin with when I was 12 years old. So when I was 12 years old, I was sitting outside with some of my friends, and one friend asked me, or asked the whole group, what do you want to become when you are older? And everyone said, we don't know. So, and I was the only one who said, I don't know too, but I know for sure what I don't want to become. Do you know the answer, Angela?
No, I'm not sure yet.
Okay. I said, I don't want to become a monk. That's what I said. So, because I thought in my mind, as a young boy, of course, who's going outside with 12 already, making parties and things like this, how can you be a monk? What does it have to do with living a happy life? So I thought, you're not allowed to have a partner. You're not allowed to earn money. You're not allowed to make party or have fun at all. That's what I thought. So I thought, how dumb can a monk be, or a human being to be a monk? That's what I really thought. So, and 4 years later, I became a monk.
Only 4 years later?
Yes, or 5 years. I was 17, with 17, 5 years.
So tell us about that. How did that happen?
4 years later.
I said, tell us about how this happened, because this is a big moment in a young boy's life.
Yes, yes. Okay, so 4 years later, when I was 16, I was in a really bad condition, I would say. So my relationships were really bad. I had problems with my parents, with my teachers. I flew out from 2 schools, for example, with the police, and even with friends. So the relationships that I had was really, really bad. So my emotions, of course, was then also really bad. I was aggressive, I was angry. I just saw the faults outside, in my outside world. He makes mistakes, and they want to hurt me and things like this. So, and also my health was really bad. I was always the guy who was just looking outside. I want to have everything look good outside. So, but my health inside was really, really bad. So, for example, I smoked, I took other stuffs, drank a lot when I was 13, 14. And so when I wake up, for example, even my eyes were burning. So with 16. So as a 16 years young boy. So in this bad condition. So I had much more bad conditions, of course, with 16. So I really went down in a negative spiral and I didn't know how I can come out again. So on one day, when I flew out of the second school, I was sitting for over 12 hours alone on a bench outside in a park. Or no, it was a train station somewhere. And I was so inward driven on that day because I thought the whole time my outside world is so broken. I don't know how I can continue and what my future would look like. So, and on that day, something happened because I was 12 hours just looking inside myself, so inward driven. I had something that we can call, some say it's a turning point, tipping point, or awakening call. You can say it. And on that day, I realized for myself, I have created all of this.
Wow.
Based on my ignorance and based on my decisions that I made out of my ignorance. Because I just was looking outside the whole time, I didn't read, and I
Hang on a second, I can't hear you right now. Now, say something. Yeah.
Can you hear me again? Perfect. Great. So I said I was so inward driven that I realized myself, wow, I have made all these mistakes. So, and not the world around me is so mean. I am the one who has to change. So, and so on that day, I realized myself, wow, if I can change myself and I am the only one that has to change, then I can change my whole world. So, and in this year, when I was 16, I was so quiet and so inward driven. The last 5 years before, from 11 to 16, always loud, outward driven, everyone making mistakes. I'm not making mistakes at all. I know how the world works and things like this. So with 16, I was very, very quiet. So I was really inward driven and I realized for myself there's a world inside. So there's a world outside, but inside there's a world as big as outside. So, and we as human beings with our senses, we are normally outward driven, for example. And for example, with meditation, we can bring this awareness back to ourselves. So, and I realized for myself, I need a lot of discipline. I need to control my emotions more. I have to work on my health, on my relationships, my mindset, and much, much more. So, and then the thought came into my mind, there are Shaolin monks, maybe from watching a lot of movies when I was young as a boy. And also this day when I was 12 came into my mind where I thought and said, a monk is living a really, really dumb life. So, but I realized with 16, okay, probably I am wrong. And maybe there's something behind it that I haven't seen before. Because I just see the outside world and a monk outside, he looks like he has nothing. But then I realized for myself, wow, these monks, they have a lot inside. Discipline, emotional stability, positive emotions, good relationships and things like this. And I wanted to learn from them. So I decided to go to China. But before I left for China, I even got the visa and things like this already. I saw on German TV, on Vox, about the temple, Shaolin Temple Europe with 16. And this documentary, it was in 2010. I was so fascinated by them that I said, okay, if I can make through this 1 week that I saw on the documentary, then I can go to China and I make it very easily. So I called there immediately. The abbot came on the phone and gave me a place on the next month already. because he said on the phone he felt I really wanted it. So, and then he was looking for a place, and 1 month later I got the place already. So I visited there. Will this be recorded? Someone
yeah,
is
it will
asking.
be. I'm gonna, when we finish, I make it a collaboration between the two of us, so it'll be on yours or on the Shaolin online Instagram and on mine. So no, everything is recorded. No one misses anything.
Perfect.
And we can look
So
at
you
the
can watch
questions at the
afterwards. You
end.
can just listen.
Sorry.
Yes, yes, no problem. Yes, and then you can also write the things down, because this can really change your life for sure. So just listen to it. And where was I?
At the
What
abbot,
point?
the abbot
Right.
giving you a space.
At the abbot. Yes, at the abbot. So when I came there, I met Xiang Yi Shifu and the abbot in 2010. And both of them changed my life, as many of you probably.
I can totally imagine
And
that these two.
this 1 week was the hardest week until now. Yes, yes, it was. And this 1 week was the hardest week in my life until now, mentally and emotionally and physically. So, for example, I dislocated both my shoulders, and I trained with 2 dislocated shoulders for 2 days and things like this. And it was my fault. It was not their fault. It was my fault, because I knew I have to make it through this week, and I had a really bad condition already, and I didn't prepare it at all. So, but my mind was so strong that I said I will do it no matter what, and I didn't stop. So I didn't even realize it, and even the master realized it and said, "Okay, what's up with this boy? We have to call a doctor." So, and after 2 days, physiotherapist checked, and she said, "Okay, they are both dislocated." So, for example, and so, and there you can see, for example, how much focus can bring you if you're really dedicated, of course. And I knew, of course, everything hurts, but I knew, okay, nothing is broken and it will heal again. And I want to make it through this week, no matter what. So I have to change. My mind is so weak, I have to change. So, and this week was so hard. So, and from this experience afterwards, I realized in my mind, everything that I want and can imagine in my mind, I can reach and I can accomplish. There's nothing in this world that I can't do if I believe in it, if I put the actions into it and make my dreams come true.
I agree.
So, thank you. So after this 1 week, the abbot asked me if I want to become a novice, because he thought it's a good way for me. And I said no in the beginning. I said I even don't want to go to China anymore. I want to make my parents happy, go to school, make good grades, have money, have kids, and then have a happy life with my family and make everything good again. So, but after 2 months, I realized for myself, this question came into my mind the whole time. Do you want to become a novice? And on this week, I told myself I will never run away from my problems again, no matter how hard they are. I will always confront them. So, because if you run away, you just push them away, but the problems, they are still there. So, and that's why they will grow and grow and grow in the background. And then you start to run and run and run away. So instead, I will immediately take care of it. And I realized, okay, if I stay at my parents' home with 17, it's very easy. I can still do party. I can, my parents are doing, my mom is doing the laundry for me and things like this. So, and in the temple, I have to do the laundry for the masters and all the other stuff. So, and all the training, it was really hard, of course. I was afraid after this week also to come again. So, so I said, okay, I just told it to myself. So after 2 months, I can't start to run away again. So that's not good. And so I said, and I called and I said, okay, you're right. I want to become a novice. So, and so I became a novice for 5.5 years. And I could dedicate it my whole life on working on my inner world.
That's so cool.
We as the human being, we are just so outward driven that we are just working on our outside world, and we forget that there is an inside world, and we have to create harmony with both worlds. So the outside world can also be stable. No one of us comes into this world and said, I want to have a good partner, a happy family, a good body, a nice car and things like this. And then at the end of our life, we are looking back and then we are cheating. We have the third divorce, and our health got really bad. And with 40 something happened, and then we got sick and things like this. Also, a sickness doesn't happen like this.
Yeah.
A sickness is an ongoing process in the background that we don't see. For example, eating healthy for unhealthy for 30 years. So, and I realized that there is this inside world that we have to invest ourselves, take this time that we call me time, so that we can get better. So you have a good job because you have invested in your me time to learn, to study for this job in school, in university maybe, and so on, so that you can do this job and bring value to this world. And like this, for example, you earn money. So, and not because you were partying and watching TV the whole day.
I did that sometimes too.
Yes. That's also balance, of course. That's also okay. But I just say the important parts are the me time where you invest in yourself. The important parts when you want to have a healthy body are the time when you spend on, for example, learning what is healthy food. Then you go and buy them, then you prepare them and eat them, of course, and not always looking for the easy way, what we call fast food. So, and so in this time, in this 5.5 years, I was always thinking I want to have a beautiful outside world, but I realized I have to first create a beautiful inside world in order to do that. So I became a monk so that I can fully dedicate myself on this. And Shaolin has, for example, or as we teachers is in the Shaolin Temple Europe, 6 different teachings. 3 physical teachings and 3 theoretical teachings. One is called Kung Fu, physically to have a strong body, to learn discipline, willpower, dedication, focus, and so on. And next to it, of course, you can fight and can save or defend your loved ones. So, but that's not the main goal.
That's probably already something that a lot of people misunderstand and think it's about the fighting and it's about defending yourself. But I really learned also at the temple that one of the reasons is also that it's our duty to be able to defend our own body and to look after our own body. So that if somebody, I never forget that when the abbot shared that with us, the fact that you have to be able to, that's my duty to be able to defend this body of mine, this I never thought of it this way before, and that was really helpful for me.
Yes, the body is also a temple. It's your temple and it's sacred, of course. And you have also to take care that not negative energy, of course, is entering your body, for example. Yes, especially by other force, for example. And then we have, for example, Qigong. Qigong is the whole opposite. In Kung Fu, you have to be fast also and still be emotionally stable. That means you also learn in the outside world when there are situations coming up where you have to react really fast, that you are still inside stable emotionally. And not like, oh, what should I do now? And everything is bad and I don't know and things like this, or get angry and things like this. So you have to be stable, otherwise you will lose the game or the fight already. So the other side is called Qigong. Qigong, then you start to be very slow, for example. So very slow. So, and you have to control this too, because like this you bring much more awareness to yourself. So, and energy flow, everything like this. So, and then we realized, oh, here energy is blocked, here energy is blocked, and so on. So many people just see outside.
Yeah, you were gone again, but you're back. I think you're back.
Okay, sorry, you can see I'm busy. It's the second call already here on the live stream that I got. No problem.
I know.
So,
Don't worry.
yes, Qigong. So many people, they just look outside. I want to look good, and then muscles, and that's it. So, but with Qigong, you realize there's much more. There's stretching, there are energy flow, there are your organs, there's your breathing, and so on. Then there's the third part that we call meditation. So everything in Shaolin is for us meditation, but when I talk now about meditation, I really mean the sitting meditation.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in sitting meditation, if you look from outside with your senses, everything stops moving. Your whole body is quiet. So you're bringing all your awareness back to yourself. Mm-hmm. So, and with meditation, of course, what we call our inner middle. We create balance again, our inner middle, because we are just so outward driven that we lost this inner world. And meditation brings you back so that you will create harmony in this inner middle. So, and then you realize that you are the middle point of your own universe. Because from where you are standing, you are the middle point of your universe. And where I am standing, I am the middle point of my universe. Because if I look inside myself, I have the microcosmos expanding unlimitedly. And if I look outside, also, I have you, the people around me. I have my home, my house, the country, the whole planet, and so on. And these are the three practical things. Then we have three theoretical that we call Confucianism. In Confucianism, that got lost really, really much. And that's why I'm so happy that I've met Shaolin, because Confucius was a consultant of an emperor in China about 2,500 years ago. And he was famous because he teach even the emperor how the emperor should act as an emperor, because he has a duty as an emperor for his whole folk, how you call it?
His people.
Yes, for his whole people. And he taught all the relationships. You are a son, for example, I'm a son, you're a daughter. You are maybe a mother, one day I'm becoming a father. One day I'm a grandfather. I'm a student, for example. I have many teachers, and when I come to them, I'm a student. So what does it mean to be a good student? When I'm a teacher, I have to teach.
That's really interesting. Would you mind talking, like I love that too, and I see that all the time in the Chinese medicine, these kind of a hierarchy of a place in society that we have to fulfill. And when you just talked about the student, like what would you say from a Shaolin point of view? What's a good student?
A good student is someone who can let go if he walks into a room, for example, or if he meets a person and the person is a teacher, then he can let go of all his ego, and in this moment he's empty. If I, for example, I'm now a CEO of a company, I have people working under me. So I'm a chef in my company. But when I go to my teacher who's teaching me mixed martial arts, I'm quiet. I'm humble. When he says something, I bow, I say thank you, I listen. And for example, if I think he's something wrong because he's screaming at all his students, then I afterwards will talk with him and tell him, hey, from my point of view, maybe I'm wrong, but I have this in my mind and I want to let it go. Maybe, yeah, all the students somehow they feel disappointed or they are angry when you're screaming at them and things like this. And maybe you can do it like this, then everyone is happy, and I can explain it in a face-saving way so that he understands it and says, oh, wow, you're right, for example. But I never do it in front of the other students.
Yeah. So it's like a certain respect.
But he, for example,
it's a respect.
sorry, but he, when he is,
sorry, it's a little bit lost sometimes,
sorry.
the back and forth. No, sorry, keep going.
Okay, but when he, for example, thinks it's good to teach me in front of the whole group so that everyone can learn, then I can let go of my whole ego and I just listen because everyone can benefit from it. So, but I never in front of the student, when he teaches me, get aggressive and tell him back, why are you said face-saving way, why are you now teaching me in front of everyone? Because he's the teacher. And then I let go of all my ego, even though I'm the CEO and even though I earn more money than him and things like this. So, and no matter in which room I go, I'm a guest there, for example, and I'm a student, for example, especially when a teacher is there. So, and if you can let go of your ego and empty your cup every time because you are a human being that is in constant change. So then you can really grow. If we understand that we are the change, we are the constant change, then we can grow the whole time. So, and yes, and that's, for example, about relationship. That's what Confucius, for example, taught us. So if you understand that, you have really good relationships with everyone. I have good relationships with my mom as a son. I'm a good son and things like this. So, and I don't teach my parents how to be a good parents. I just be a good son and a good example so that they can understand and maybe reflect. So things like this. And then we have Taoism, for example. Some of you have heard of Taoism. I think many of you, all of you who has the internet have seen the yin-yang symbol already, the yin-yang. So also called the second dimension or the dualism, for example. So one side can't exist without the other side. They're both parts of the same coin. Man can't exist without woman. Day can't exist without night. Inside world can't exist without outside world. So, and our goal is to bring harmony, and Taoism teaches you that you are part of nature. So you study the science of nature and you as a human being as part of it. So we are not separated from nature, we are nature at the end of the day. So, and there's a third part, everyone knows, it's Buddhism. So learn to be content, learn to be happy. No matter if you are as me, a CEO of a company, no matter if you are traditional Chinese medicine practitioner like Angela or a mother, and I'm not a father now, no matter if you're a monk, no matter if you're a single mother, no matter if you're a young student with 20, everyone can learn this and can improve his inside world. Because everything that we see is just outside. So, and with Shaolin Online, we're gonna teach you a way how you can master yourself with different teachings, with different teachers, and the best teachers of Shaolin Temple Europe, almost, one is missing. And there you can learn really from people who went this way already and can show you the path. So it's an easy path for you already. You don't have to look and search for yourself. You have already a direction, for example. So now you know that there is an inside world that you have to master. And no matter in which one we put it, no matter in which cultural system, religion or something like this, everyone can improve his inside world that we call our mindset, our mind, the way how we think, if we have a positive mind or negative, our emotions, if we want to create stability and positive emotions or uncontrolled negative emotions. We have character and virtues that we can build on. For example, what you learn in the beginning, the 5 silas, not to lie, for example, because we know that if we lie, we create bad karma. So that means we are building on a non-given fact. We are telling someone this is giving, but it's not true. So, and this people believes in this and will build on it, and one day this will crumble. And there are people, they are building and lying and lying. They are really good liars. But at the end of the day, how good you lie, it will break down. And when it breaks, you will fall really hard, the higher you build your lie on it, for example. So, and then you learn these things. And if you have this inner stability, also spirituality, for example, becoming one, learning that all is one, alone, the word alone means all is one, for example, and not I feel lonely. I feel lonely is scarcity, that means you're in a negative state. So, but feeling alone is positive because you realize you're connected to the whole world. No matter if you are here in a room alone, no matter if a person is in another room and things like this, you never have this negative feeling because you know you're connected to this whole world, for example. And what else? Yeah, emotions, virtues, character, and health, for example. Many just see the body as an outside world thing and they just put the makeup on, but the body is much more. The body,
that's so true.
the body is an inside world. So, and we have to take care that our body is healthy and that every cell in our body we treat the way it should treat it. Because your heart, your organs, they are working unconditionally for you your whole life. So it's also important because you are the king, you can say, or the queen of your own kingdom, your body. You have to take care of every cell in your body. You have to treat them right and you have to thank them and give them love. So, and now you know how you can master yourself and become a better version every day. And then you can start and focus on your inner world and on the person you were yesterday and not compare yourself to other people. Because we are all different and we all have different goals in life and what makes us happy in life. We have people, they love to be a teacher. We have people, they love to be a good mother. We have people, they love to, to sing, for example. So, and we can improve ourselves every day, this inner world. So, and then this inner world becomes a reflection of our outer world and it will never crumble.
That's a very important point. So, that's such an important point, and that's something that I feel like it's part of what I'm teaching also so much, and the Shaolin dimension has really just reinforced this so much more, how worth it is to invest time in yourself, into your cells, into your soul, into your chi, and how it's so unnecessary to try to control the external world because it's just a waste of chi, and how much smarter it is to just do what you can with what you have where you are, and exactly what you said. And so, because for me, of course, coming to Shaolin was like for a kid coming to Disneyland or something like this, because I'm doing also Chinese medicine since almost 25 years, and when I discovered Taoism, for me that's like, that's how the world works, and it just made so much sense to me. So since then, I've just been exploring that so much as well, and to find these teachings together this way, for me, the Qigong really helped my busy mind to be able to meditate, but in a moving meditation way, which then helped me to be able to sit for longer. It started to make my body stronger. I even started to realize I could actually learn a little bit of martial arts, even though before I thought, that's for young men or something like this. And so it really had, that's why I so wanted that everybody can meet you and the temple, and the online program, because it's difficult for some people to go to the temple, and it's tough, and it's like, it's a big thing. But the online program everybody can do over a whole year, every week there is teachings coming different ways, so it's like it's really holistic, and it can be like, it can be from a teenager to a grandma could do it. It's okay for everybody if they understand they can
Yes.
adapt it a little bit to their physical needs. But otherwise, this program is for anybody. It's to heal yourself from the inside out with different aspects for mind, body, and soul. Right?
Yes, yes, perfectly said. Thank you. Perfectly said. Yes. So the idea behind it was because my dream was always to create something big where I can help people, change people's lives, and Shifu also, of course. And then we had always contact. And 2 years ago, we came to the idea both and said, let's create something big together, because if we do it alone, it's not as big if we put both together, of course. And so the idea came, and he has skills that I don't have. I have skills that he doesn't have. For example, here this whole online thing. And yeah, and then we thought, okay, how can we help people in this modern time? So, and how can we help everyone? So not the outside world, the inside world. So, and help everyone become, let's say, a light warrior to this world. So, and that you can one day become a light for someone else in this world, a good example of the Shaolin teachings. So, and so we created something that everyone can do, and that's why I said here I have hairs. You don't have to be a monk. It's online. You can do it from everywhere, no matter if you're a student, no matter if you're 80 years old. We have created a program with 52 weeks. Every week, one lesson is unlocked, and the 4th week in the month is a bonus. So you can do it freely and choose for yourself. Do I still have power to do the 4th week, or do I need a break? So, and in this bonus, we have given you something for old and young. So there are exercises like power workouts. So as a 20-year-old guy, you have to go to your limit. But there's also like something like just sitting meditation, just focusing on your breathing or your attention outside. Here, focus on this, focus on that, for example. So even today, even a person I know joined. She's laying in the hospital. She can't move her body at all, but still she's joining and can do the theory, for example. And yes, so at the end of the day, you can choose from your point where you are standing and can do what you can do is best. And we made the program so that at least 80% everyone can do. 80% a young 20-year-old can do. He can also do 100% if he can sit quiet and meditate, of course. And an 80-year-old also 80% of the program, for example. And we say you're also always the sum of the people you surround yourself with. That means we have a close group where all the people gather who made the decision to change their life and who were ready to pay a price. You need dedication, you need focus. It is never about money in your life. If you say you have no money, you have a money problem. It's never about money. Money is nothing than a voucher energy. So you can put the energy in your work and earn this voucher, and then you can decide for yourself, what do I use this safe energy, this voucher, for my life? Do I use it to buy a new TV, the next big TV? Do I buy it for my cigarette? Do I buy this for my next vacation and things like this? Or do I save it and put it in something that I can invest and that can change my life, for example? At the end of the day, you will realize it's all about you and the decisions you make in your life. So, and yes.
And it's also maybe important to say that the online program is an investment, but I mean, it's an incredible investment for a whole year. But there is also a ton of free teaching on the YouTube channel, on Shihangi online. I recommend this the website to many of my patients just to learn the Badwanjin or to learn something, and that's free. So anybody who's not sure yet or doesn't have the money can first study that, which is free, and then when they realize, okay, no, I want to invest into this, then the program is there. And you even have a monthly option. So there's one payment price for the whole thing, and then there's monthly options. So you really have offered something for everybody.
Yes, yes, exactly. And yes, that's why we have created last year, the whole last year we created the live streams, because we thought, okay, first of all, if we start, so how can we help people the most? There are people in this life, they don't have the finances and they don't have the health, for example. And we want the people to get healthier and happier. So how can we do that? So, and that's why we created all the free content and the live training so that you can do it. It's all free. We also have an app, for example, that you can download. If you go on Shaolin Online, you will find it, the free app, and then you can download it. And in the free live sessions, there are, I think, 23 live sessions with timestamps. And one live session is 1 until 2.5 hours, for example. So you have a lot to learn for the next 6 months, for example, to improve your health for free.
Absolutely. Like one live session, I usually used to use for like a month. There's that much in there. I had to take my time to, do bit by bit, practice the movement, get better at it rather than just doing one after the other. I'm more like, I really enjoyed just doing one and then practicing this for a week and then doing the next one to just build the strengths, because when you're new to this at the beginning, even just the coordination can be quite challenging when you come from other sports, for example, or something like that.
Yes, exactly. Right. So yeah, and the end of the day, no matter which way you choose, always work on yourself, always improve yourself. It's all about you, and it's your full responsibility to master yourself and in the end, master your life. So if you become the change that you want to see in this world, the whole world around you will change also. But first of all, you have to become this example and not expecting the outside world to change and become the example. So that's very important. So my wish for everyone here is every day, with every breath, with every step you take, with every deeds you do, give a little bit more, lie a little bit less, train a little bit more on your health and invest in yourself, and so on and so on. And like this, you are changing the world.
Yes. One step at a time.
Yes.
One step at a time. Well, do you want to tell people quickly just the name of the website, just to be 100% sure everybody knows where to go?
You can find it on the bio. Just go on here, Instagram, Shaolin Online, and then it's in the bio, www.shaolin.online. There you can find it. And also in the highlights, you can find the free app and how to download the free app. There's a free PDF, and there it explains to you how to download, because you have to go on academy.shaolin.online first. Then you can buy a free product, it's for free, and then you get a confirmation mail. And in this confirmation mail, you can set a password, and then you are registered, for example, for free. And then you can download, for example, the app, the Shaolin Online app, and you can train with it everywhere with your smartphone, for example, for free. So you don't need to purchase anymore anything at all. If you want to do the Shaolin Online self-mastery, you can do it, of course. But we have so much free content. You can train the whole year for free and improve your health, your mindset, and even a self-massage where you can massage yourself and things like this. And probably much more coming.
Yeah, I can imagine that there's more coming. This is just going to bring so much benefit to so many people. Someone asked for your name. Do you want to put your thing into the comments, your Instagram as well? Or I will tag you after when I post it.
Yes, it would be great.
Yeah.
Just tag me
And is there anything you wanna end with your own journey from, you know, when you went for 6 years to the temple and then to where you are now. Like, that would be interesting.
Yes. Yes, like I told you before, it was always my dream to build a beautiful outside world. But then with 16, I realized I totally missed it. I went the wrong way, and so I went into the temple to become a monk. And my dream was just to my goal was to stay for 3 years. At the end, I stayed almost for 6 years. And afterward, I left the temple when I thought, okay, now is the time. Now I'm ready. So I always said 3 years, but how did you land in Dubai?
You'll have a lot of
I
questions
was
coming
always,
after this, I think.
yes, I was always looking for a beautiful world outside. And so I thought, okay, what looks beautiful outside? And then I heard of Dubai and everyone was screaming about Dubai, and on Instagram you saw it and things like this. And I have also teachers who live here in Dubai. And so I went to Dubai to see it myself. And I thought, okay, that's the whole opposite of what I know, what the outside world is. So, and I told myself, okay, now I'm ready. And I have built my life with my inside world, and like this I could expand, for example. So, and but if you, for example, you don't fix your inside world and you come here, then you get really stressed because this city here works really fast. Here you need to work, you have to be fast, here you have to be a machine, you can say. But if you have fixed this inside world, it's very easy. For example, because I'm not lying, I'm emotionally stable and things like this. That's why the people, they like it, they come to me, and it's really easy for me, for example. So that's why it's so important. Always fix your inside world. Always invest in yourself first. Learn the rules in life. Go to school of life first. If you want to master life, go to school. Be a student of life. We just go to school and learn to do a job, but we never go to school to learn how to master life. No one teaches us how to have a good relationship, how to have good emotions and things like this. And the school also teaches us money, money, money. Look for a job where you find a lot of money, and not look for a job that makes you happy, where you can help people, where you can change the world, where you can bring benefit to this world, for example. So, and if you invest in yourself, then you will realize all these things. And with this mindset, you can make the decisions upon it, and then you will have a beautiful world outside, for example. So, but first, invest in your
Yeah,
inside
and
world.
now more and more people, as they go through the program, as they meet the Shaolin teaching, these things are becoming more and more popular. So my hope is that one day even the school system changes. You know, children learn how to breathe, children learn how to, you know, help themselves from the inside out and realize that energy, yeah, like you say, and it makes sense that you're now in Dubai. If that's a place that you thought was beautiful, like is beautiful, that now this is an expansion of your inner world, that you live in a place that you think is, you know, that suits you and that works with you. That's a great example of creating the world from the inside out in my feeling.
Yes,
So
yes.
it was awesome. Thank you so much for saying yes to this. And I hope a lot of people
You're
get
welcome.
to know you and the Shaolin teachings and the temple this way. I almost feel like we have to do this again soon in some time. Thank you so much, Tan, for your time.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It was a pleasure. Also, thanks to you. Because of you, this live is happening. She was the one who was asking me, and I said yes, because I thought, okay, if people are asking me and the need is there and I can help, why not?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So I wish everyone have a happy day. I hope you understand now why it's so important to work on yourself and on your inside world, and not compare to other people. Everyone is in your own chapter in this world. And yeah, if we work on ourselves and then improve every day a little better ourselves, then the whole world will change, and you will get happier, and you will, how do you call it? Selbstbewusstsein. How do you call it?
Confidence.
You will get self-confidence because you know yourself better, you know your actions better, you know your thoughts better, and so on. You control and master yourself, and then you are really a stable person, and you can be a guiding light for your loved ones in your life. So, and that's really, really important. So I stop now, otherwise I will talk much more.
No, you're passionate about
I
it.
wish
That's
you all
beautiful to see. It's really, it shines out of your eyes.
Yes, thank you very much. So everyone,
thank you.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, everyone.
Follow Thanh.
And the Shaolin
I
Temple.
will tag him in the post below, and then you hear more wisdom from him as well. Lots of love. Thank you so much. And the recording will be on my Instagram profile, and hopefully also on the Shaolin online Instagram profile.
Yes.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
How cool was that? Now just got to figure out how to end this without losing it. So